Okay, this is going to be Auntie's last video for today. Yeah. And I didn't get to do it along the drive home. I had it in mind. I actually forgot. But either way, I needed to come and free up some space to do it. Having a wonderful day. Let me give a special shout out to Arlene. That's my gym mate. Turned a big 70 yesterday. Gabrielle and I, we went to a lovely little birthday celebration. So good to have friends and loved ones come out. Yeah. To appreciate you on your special day. Coach Randy, he came out too. That meant a lot to her. It was great for us to be able to have time with him. Because he's a good person. He drives me bananas sometimes. Perhaps I do the same to him. But at one point he was taking time there, like listening to Gabrielle. She was sharing like particular experiences, And he was listening and offering advice. And then he was talking to me and he was sharing like his dreams, his vision for his gym. I was sharing some of my vision in terms of my lessons and my creative approach for the children and some things I want to expose them to in terms of outings and so on, doing that with intention, in a way that builds them. And I met some nice ladies and their children and their families too. It was really nice. Just as I told them, I'm all for going slow more and more. And I don't want to just like go in a space, be in a new setting, and I sit down only with people that I know and I'm eating, drinking, dancing, or whatever, making myself merry, and then you are there, but you are not in my group. No. It's very good at connecting with people and sharing the commonality and so. So that was yesterday. So the long and short of it is, Auntie couldn't make it. Church was at 7 and Auntie woke up at 10 to 7 after that celebration. Yeah. So the plan was supposed to be church, Mom, then Shania Bear for lessons. I still did Mom. That was lovely. Mom has some new art she's working on, inspiring me as always. You will get to see that. You've probably already seen that by the time I share this. And lovely just spending time with her. She was all in awe of my beautiful hairdo, pouring love, pouring everything into me. I took some photos I shared with her. The stage, the house is at now. We have the windows in. Now we're working on the windowsills. It's really beautiful. She was so happy. She was like, show me the front again and show me this part again. And when you finish this part, maybe giving her input. It really means a lot for her. Understand that Mom at 91 probably came along, in a time where struggling and hardship was at a different level to what we currently experience, That you probably wouldn't have, how she would have come along and seen her own mother working so hard for like mere pittance. Although we look at it that way, but there was more togetherness at that time, right? If you understand me, more community involvement and togetherness and sharing and so on. But I'm saying that to make the point that it's a big deal for her to be able to look at me and see that on my own, well, God and I, I'm able to, with a lot of sacrifice, a lot of perseverance, and a lot of determination, I'm getting there in terms of the renovations to the house. And then Shania Bear, you will see Shania Bear's Shania Bear. She insisted they call her that, because they said Mary Bear. So she didn't want to be left out, so I must say Shania Bear. We had a lovely lesson, very encouraging. We spent some time after lesson doing some drawing. Yeah. Coming along. In her drawing, if she decides she wants to draw something, then she doesn't like how it looks, She just, this looks bad, I can't draw, and so on, and that's the end of that, and she must change her mind and draw something else. So hopefully that's something we could work on in terms of the confidence and believing in yourself and not giving up and so on. But a really touching moment now when we finished our drawing, or when we were almost finished, she said, your mom has a phone in her house. Remember Shania Bear and Mary Bear? on the day of our last outing, we ended up at mom before I took them home. And they had a moment where they were actually drawing and coloring with mom. And I really didn't appreciate how much that impacted the children. She said to me, "Your mother has a phone?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Let me call her." I said, "Okay." She said, let me call her and I can show her my art that I do." I said, "Oh, no, not that kind of phone. She doesn't have like a cell phone that you could do like a video call and so on. She just has a landline." She said, "Well, you could make a video of me and I'm going to be telling her all about my art and you can show her. I want her to see my art." And that's so beautiful that they seem to have mom up there, as they jolly well should, as like a really great artist and be drawing so much inspiration from her. I always wanted for, as I would take mom's art and share and show them, always wanted for me to show, the other direction, show their art to mom. That was really touching. Anyhow, the message I come to give today, the focus is on wellness. I'll see how much I could manage to speak on. 3 things: getting adequate rest, trying to eat as balanced as possible, as healthy as possible, and moving that body. Don't feel because auntie always sharing about gym that auntie just doing that for the sake of posing off, right? Auntie does that in order to be able to inspire people, especially to show people where I start. So it's where I start now, me looking pretty. I'm comfortable enough in myself to allow you to see me when what I'm doing is not looking pretty, when it looks as awkward as ever, when it looks as, some might say, as pathetic as ever, and let you see my progress. Right, so in terms of the rest, yeah, a lot of people working very hard. Some maybe you're an entrepreneur, you're working for yourself or whatever, depending on the kind of work you do. And obviously you need to do that. This whole, I don't subscribe to the whole hustle culture. That's not me, but I do understand. You have to get out, you have to work. Either you're at a stage that you're not building up the business, or the very nature of the business that you take the work when it comes, or it's just constantly depending on what's your vocation, what you do. It's constantly like you work a lot. Um, some people doing like minimum wage jobs. That one's hitting pretty close to home right now. I will speak on that at another stage, especially younger people, and being taken advantage of a lot by employers, not getting a lunch hour, not getting the proper break to get something to eat during the day, working very long hours, working one shift for very long hours, having maybe like a 2-3 hour break in there, then being called to do something else, might not be a full shift, but do something else late in the night. Working many days like that with that kind of arrangement without having a day off. Yeah, a lot of different things. I don't know what's the word to describe it. Disheartening, annoying, outrageous, disappointed. I really don't know. Yeah. Not a good practice at all, from either side. Obviously, you can, being young, I suppose you could get away with that up to a certain point, but then the time will still come when the fatigue is going to kick in. Yeah. And you will be impaired physically, mentally, your spirit, something. I really, as I said, I'm very much into wellness. This is one of my passions. And I don't think we're wired just to work, sleep, work, sleep, work. So you got to be able to do something to have enjoyment. You got to be able to do something for the sake of connection, spiritually, spiritually. Um, gotta be able to spend time in nature. You have to be able to renew yourself, basically. But I know people share these things and glorify it, like work, sleep, eat, repeat, and grind and hustle and so on. That's not for me. So that's the rest part. Try and get enough rest. I have to work on it too. Sometimes I up, sometimes I might go and watch like something on Netflix and I'm like one episode come on, things happen. Sometimes, well, I might get back here late and I just end up out front. When I say out front, like in the front house, Um, I might have things I want to try and do around the house before the next day, whatever the case may be. Sometimes I'm simply being ridiculous. Yeah, auntie is sometimes. But even if you have a day or two and you fall off track or whatever, you just get back on. You don't allow that to keep you down there. Eating healthy. Um, I was in a space yesterday where I observed a child. You could call her obese. Um, I noticed like behind her neck, very dark, like black. And I do know that that's supposed to be, it's not like a skin condition or anything. That's coming from like what you are consuming. It's some kind of off balance in the body. From time to time when I get out of hand, I don't see it as dark as how I saw it on that girl, but I will see like a darkening behind there as well as one of the things. Listen, it's nothing like knowing your body and coming to understand your body. Right? Little bags around the eyes, darkness around the eyes, different things like that. Things I look out for that tell me my body's off balance. So that was a little concerning for me, seeing that in that child. And it's not just in children that are obese either. You could have someone looking like they're the ideal weight, whatever that's supposed to be, and so on, and still see these kind of signs. It's supposed to be something that shows you're on the path towards being diabetic or something to that extent. Yeah. Um, right, so I spoke about that part. Then generally, I find a lot of people are on diets and struggling with different issues resulting from inflammation. Um, as I said in discussions, sometimes people talk a lot about being fatigued, women specifically around this can cut out with the time. Menopause kind of age, persons have different kind of challenges outside of that as well. On the flip side of the menopause, like those who are still having a menstrual cycle, lots of cramps, a lot of the heavy periods, and so on. And sometimes they would honestly, these are discussions I have with like my young people now, teenagers, early 20s, and so on. And they would say for themselves, they realize like if they try to stay away from sweets leading up to that time and eat cleaner and healthier, they have less problems. Somehow we don't really discuss these don't seem to be mainstream kind of discussions. You have to be moving in circles with like-minded people to really understand these things. And exercise, 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 move that body, move that body, move that body. Listen, even sometimes if you do sedentary kind of work, just getting up and doing like some arm movements or some stretches, walking around the office, walking up and down the stairs. I think I've said this already. It can make a tremendous difference, more than you may think. How about standing and trying to do a few squats? You you have to find a way. You have to try to find a way, you know, to be able to accomplish these things and to keep moving. Conversations once again I have with persons, they said it's difficult if you fall off of your rhythm in terms of an exercise routine to get back there. I very well know that. I do. I think even as I say, you just have to reach a point where you believe you will find a way. Even walking around your building or like taking a walk around the block during your lunch hour or so on. Yeah, these things it can be done. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, it can be done. And find somebody to hold you accountable, to encourage you. Since I've been sharing a lot of my videos from gym, a lot of different people have approached me and asked me about the gym and so on. They might want to join that particular gym, they might not, but I feel very heartened to know they're looking at themselves and saying, well, that auntie there, and I can see auntie's progress, and she seems to be having fun. She seems to be healthy, good encouragement and community. And yeah. One time I never thought I would be a gym person. I would say I like to be out in nature, having my solitude. I still love that, like beach time, walking time, and so on. But there's something to be said of having persons to come alongside you on your journey and encourage you. I hope I have encouraged you. I hope you will try to find at least one small step. And if you're a person that you could try maybe fasting even intermittently, like say if your last meal is 8 o'clock in the night, see if you can last till like 8 or 10 or so the following day. That is great things for you. In terms of removing that inflammation, in terms of how your bowels work. Yeah. Cleansing your body. And so just giving the body a chance like to reset, basically. And hydrate. Drink a lot of water. Don't wait until you feel thirsty. I'm sharing a lot. I'm sharing a lot because I care. Sharing is caring. Have a wonderful week. I love you. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. Bye bye. Be good to that body. Bye bye.